Hey guys, today we're building a chicken coop. We've got our friend Kamil here to help us. So Kamil, where do we start?
I would start by going on the internet. Find some examples, find pictures of what you like, how it looks like, the size of it, and more importantly, the number of chickens that it's gonna have. First, we go to the store and pick up our materials. Make it easier for yourself, and if you have some materials that you want to reuse, by all means, use them. First step, we'll build the cage. We broke the cage up into individual walls. First we build the front wall, back wall, top, and the sides, and we put those together. After you have your structure for the cage, roll out the chicken wire, cut it to size, and staple it using a staple gun. When building the cage, we spaced the structure so it could fit a door. We put it together by using the finish nailer, and then drill it together. Remember to pre-drill your holes. Lastly, to put the door in place, put a lock on the door so it could be secured for the night. Remember to pre-drill the pieces of wood that are going to come together. If you don't, and just put a screw through them, it may break. So now we build the cage. Now we need to build the main structure. The main structure is an elevated space that's going to have the chickens in for the night. That space is going to be made out of 2x2s for structure, plywood for the walls, and then some roofing material for the roof. Putting the two pieces together, either you attach them one to another or you could choose to miter them. Mitering corners involves cutting a piece of wood at 45 degrees. Cut both of them at 45 and then attach them to each other. Measure the pieces of wall that you need, put the dimensions onto the plywood and use a circular saw to cut it. If your pieces of plywood are too small, don't be afraid to use multiple pieces to make one wall. When you have the main structure and the cage built separately, now put them together. Attach the cage and the main structure together securely. Do that by pre-drilling and screwing them together, as we did the structure before. A tray requires some sliders underneath. Put two pieces of wood on the bottom, and then cut a piece of plywood to size of your floor. On the front of the tray, put a 2x2, and you can attach a handle to it. This is a good moment to tip your chicken coop on its side and put chicken wire on the bottom, the same way that you put it on the sides.
This will keep predators out.
Inside our main structure, we will build a window. Get your measurements, cut, and attach with a nail gun. Once you have the frame for the door, cut a piece of plywood to size and attach to the back to make it a solid door. Lastly, attach a lock and you're good to go. Before you put the roof on, remember to put in a perch.
Chimkins love perches.
To put in the perch, put 2 blocks onto the walls, drill a hole so your rod for the perch can slide in and be secure. The roof is next. Putting the roof together, you will use some plywood, some sheeting, some shingles, and some drip edge. Cut your plywood to size of your roof, overhang a little bit past the walls, and attach them with a nail gun. Cut your drip edge to measurement. Use a pair of metal shears to cut it. Watch out not to cut yourself. Put on your drip edge around the perimeter of the roof. That will allow the water to shed off away from the walls. Next, put on a layer of sheeting. That is a waterproof membrane that will keep the chickens dry.
Cozy.
And lastly, you put on some shingles. Shingles go over the top, and you could nail those, but we chose to staple them in. Since our main structure is elevated, our chickens are going to need a ramp. We'll cut our ramp from the remaining plywood and cut small steps to put along the ramp to make it easier for the chickens to walk up. Attach the steps using a nail gun. One of the last components is the nesting box. We will build the frame for the nesting box the same way that we build the main structure. We will attach it and then we will cut the plywood to form the walls. Next, build the roof of the nesting box. You will build it the same way as the main structure. First the plywood, then the sheeting, the metal trim, and the shingles. The difference with this one, put in a hinge. That will allow you to get to the eggs much more easy. Next, we will build a sliding gate for the main structure. As opposed to the other doors, this one will not be hinged. It will just slide to the side to be open and slide close to the other side. You will build it by putting a frame like the other doors and put a piece of plywood on the inside of the frame. Now we're getting to the cosmetics. Next will be the siding. Cut the pieces of siding to the dimension that you need. Measure the opening for your pieces of siding.
We decided to paint the chicken coop the same colors as the house, white and green. Make sure to do a couple of coats so that the paint stays bright. Chickens like creature comforts, so make sure to add soil for dust baths and straw so that they can build a nest in their nesting box. The chicken coop is completed, and it's an understatement to say that the chickens love it. Thank you so much, Kamil, for helping me. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
No, it was a blast. Be careful when you're doing these things. These are dangerous tools. So if you know how to use them, use them. If you don't, ask for help.
Safety is king. You want to keep all your fingers. That about does it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps, and we'll see you next time.